keep track.
Okay.
A lot of times we're just scrambling. Depends on like if it's busy, we'll do stroke. We'll make a lot of, or we'll do scramble. If it's not busy, I'll just take my shots wherever they're at.
Okay.
Because I want the practice. So if we're keeping pace of play, like I'll try to hit it out of the bunker and stuff.
Okay. Now, do you have anybody in your group that's really good or really bad, or kind of helping you out a little bit?
So there's probably like 5 of us. 3 of us suck really bad, and 2 of them are pretty damn good. When we went to Sandpiper, he was hitting 79.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
He actually got me into it.
What's his name?
Josh Edgman, you might know him.
Name sounds
He
familiar.
used to do the tournaments a lot, or the clubs, leagues, whatever. I think at Silver Oaks and Lake B. Maybe it was Lake B. I think he's the one that referred. Did you get this company from somebody else?
No, I didn't. A guy by the name of Patrick Madigan bought this place from Sean Klotz.
Okay. Somebody had recommended me, and I contacted him. He was like in North Carolina or something. And I think he was the one that recommended you.
Okay, cool. Was it up in Massachusetts?
Maybe it was out of state. I know that.
Okay.
Somewhere up north.
Yeah, Sean went to Massachusetts, up in Mass. So, I don't know if I know anybody in North Carolina. I might.
I mean, that was months ago. I talked to him, so I don't remember.
Jump on in here and take a look. Alright, so a few things I see here is we're going to work on the grip a little bit. Okay, you got your hands kind of in a weak position, so I would imagine when you probably get the club up to the top, it doesn't feel very strong for you. It feels like it's probably flopping around a little bit on you. Am I correct on that? Or I'm going to give you a
Especially when I swing out, I feel like it breaks out sometimes.
Okay. Yes, so we got our hands we've got our right hand a little bit too far underneath. Okay, and we've got our left hand a little bit too over top. So we're going to change those up just a little bit. Okay. The other thing is that you got your feet kind of close to your setup here, and you got your hands, as I kind of see, and you'll see down the line here, that you got your hands really straight, a little Bryson DeChambeau action going on. We want to try to get just a little bit, and I'll kind of show you here just a little bit. We want to try to get a little bit of an angle here with our arms and hands. Now, obviously, with the driver, that's a driver that he's got right there. Right? There's going to be a little bit more reach, but we want to try to make sure that we have a little bit of an angle here. Okay. So as we kind of move through here, we'll go back face on. Now, obviously, that's the driver, but we'll take a look a little bit different. All right. So a few other things we kind of see here. We've got a little bit of a lateral slide, which means our hips are kind of going in this direction right here. Okay, so you see them going this way. Okay, if I put, you see this little line that I've got here on JT, you can see that yeah, he kind of keeps it on that line, right? Okay.
All right, I'm moving the whole body. Man.
Correct. So you're probably hitting a lot behind the ball. You feel like you're hitting it fat or behind it, right? Not getting a lot of loft on the ball.
Yeah.
Am I correct on that? Okay. Now the other big thing I see here is that we've got this left arm kind of breaking down on us here a little bit. Okay. And that's probably, did we play baseball quite a bit?
No.
Okay.
No,
All right.
it feels like more natural, like the baseball swing than doing. Every time I try to watch a video and figure it out, I get more and more confused.
Okay.
So that baseball swing just seems to make sense. There's so many different components of this.
Yeah. So the big thing is we want to start, as I said, with the grip. Okay. We want to try to get the feeling that our upper body's turning against our lower body. Okay. Getting that coil feeling. Okay. But the other thing is that we want to try to keep that left arm straighter. Okay, not having so much bend. And the reason that is, if I had a big circle, right, this was a circle, right, I want to keep my hands and arms in that same thing. Once I start to break that radius, right, then my low point starts to change, okay? And low point is basically, when I get here, what is the iron going to come in behind it or after it, right? And what we typically want with an iron is that we want our low point ahead of the ball, not behind it, okay? And with all this movement that you've got going on here, your low point is going to be significantly behind the ball, and what's going to happen, if you let me see the club here real quick, thank you, is that you're probably hitting a lot off the bottom and the toe here, right? Because what's happening is we're here, and then as we go, the club's ascending up.
Okay.
Okay? So typically what we want to kind of have happen here just a little bit, right, is I want to have more of that feeling right there. So that's going to be much more of a down and through strike than back over here like this and then trying to throw the club, and you can see that I'm just going to hit with the leading edge a little bit. And that's probably why we're getting a lot of low balls from what I kind of see. Is that correct on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now if we get it kind of right and the timing's up, right, we get here and then we kind of flip at it and it probably just goes sky high a little bit on us. Does that make sense too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that's what we kind of see right there. All right. And then as we come into impact here, you see how that wrist is starting to flip?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So either what we kind of said, we're either going to hit the bottom part of the club a little bit, or if we catch it just right, we move in, get a feel for it, then we kind of flip at it a little bit. And it may go high and left on us a little bit, more than likely. Okay. Okay. So first things first, let's kind of start with our grip, stance, and posture. Start with the basics, okay? And then start working around that corner. Does that make sense?
For sure.
Okay. Any questions about what we saw there?
No, I think, basically the grip, like you said, start there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got to pick this thing up out of the bag first. So.
Correct. It's the only thing that connects us to the ball through the club, right? Is the grip, right? So let's get that straightened away first, and then let's work on our setup a little bit. We can kind of do those kind of together here real quick. But I'm going to give you a grip, right, that you're going to feel like, oh, wow, this feels so much different than what I'm doing, right? Okay. But right now, I want you to kind of get on into the position that you're usually at, right? Give me the grip and posture that you're used to, okay? Now, what I'm going to have you do here, okay, for a test, okay, is I want you to take the club and I want you to hinge it up for me. Okay, good. Okay, good. Once again. Okay, now we're going to take the right hand off. Yeah, you're getting better with that grip already, I can tell. Right, so just kind of hinge up just a little bit. Good. Good. So I think we're doing better there than what I thought. Okay, let's set up again for me. Okay.
I've watched the videos and I know what to do. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Consistency.
So
Trying to keep this out.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. The big thing is that what I want you to kind of feel is it's more in the fingers of the left hand.
More in the fingers?
We want to have the feeling that it's in the fingers and that pads over top, which is good. Okay. Now what I'm probably going to do here just a little bit is I'm going to have you kind of turn that just a little bit. Okay, so we get a little bit of a cupping in that left wrist, just a little bit. Okay.
Cupping is like an extension?
Yeah, see this little indentation right here? Okay, that's what I would call cupping. If I get it like this, then it's kind of flat, right? So just a little bit of a cupping right there. Now we're going to bring in this right hand, just like that. Are we doing overlap or interlock?
Sometimes I hit. I've been trying so many different things.
Okay. So let's go with whatever one fits you best. Now, I don't mind overlap or interlock, but let's just kind of stick with one and stay with one.
Okay.
Right? And then,
Well, interlock.
okay. And then I want this thumb just on the side right here. Okay? So if you feel right here, press down. Do you feel that tension going through your arm? Okay. So if I kind of do this, do you feel that tension anymore?
No.
Okay, good. So we can probably loosen up these arms just a little bit. There we go. Okay? We don't need them deadlocked. Like, yeah. There's a lot of tension in those shoulders then, right? So good. We do want to have the elbows kind of pointing towards the hips, right? But I don't want to have it so it's forced where I feel like I'm tense. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So what I'm going to kind of do here real quick, right, is I'm going to give you this little grip right here. Okay, a little grip minder. Okay, this is just like a kid's club, right? I just want you to kind of hold it like this. I'm not worried about being down here or anything. Okay, I'm going to grab that for you. Okay, so I'm going to kind of work on the left hand. There you go, good. So if we just kind of give that a feel right there, okay? You feel where your hands are right there? You feel that mold?
Yeah.
Okay, you notice what your right hand's doing there a little bit, how it's a little bit more on top, right? It doesn't need to be super on top, right? But you can kind of see here in the video here when we kind of start, that left hand or right hand's really underneath. Okay? So we want to try to get,
Like this.
yeah, you're getting it really underneath right there. What we want to try to do is we want to try to get our hands to match up, right? And it's going to be kind of more in this position. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Good. So I just want to take this guy off real quick. Make sure he's there. Good. Feel it right there in the fingers? Okay. There we go. Okay. You feel that pad on top of it right there? Okay, good. So that's going to give you a lot more control. Okay? So that's going to be it. We can relax our arms just a little. There you go.
I'm so tense.
I know, you're good. Okay? So that's what we want to kind of go for. So I want you to grip and re-grip that a couple times. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over to this guy and start working on him a little bit. All right, so start with your left hand. There you go. There you go.
It's way up here.
Yep. There you go. You're doing great. There we go. So just kind of grip, re-grip, get that feeling in our head. Good. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we don't need to kill it, right? So kind of think of yourself, if I was doing wind sprints, right? Nobody gets real tight, right? They get kind of loose as they're moving through, and that's the kind of feeling we want to kind of have with our arms and body a little bit. Good. All right, feel that left hand on top, right? Good, feel it in the fingers, good. Pat on top, good, good. Now does that feel a little bit different than what we came in with?
For sure.
Okay, good. That's a big change for us right there, Cody. Right? It's not sexy, it's not glamorous. People don't write articles about it. People don't get all excited about it. But this is the key part that we got to kind of start with, right? Feeling out what our grip is. Okay? Correct. So let's kind of feel if we can kind of make sure we feel that. Good. Yeah. Good start. Okay? Good start. Okay? All right, so moving right along. All right, that's our grip. Okay. Now I want to kind of talk about the setup here just a little bit, and we're going to kind of go through a setup.
I have no idea why it's so far behind me.
We just kind of where we feel comfortable right now, right? Once we get a better understanding of that, we'll get a good feel, right? So what I'd like to kind of talk about today, grip, posture and stance, right? And then I want to try to get on over here and give you a reference, a ball position, and give you an understanding about that, okay? Because sometimes the ball moves up and it moves back a little bit, and want to make sure that we're moving the ball in the proper position to hit it. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me grab a club here real quick. Okay. So once you come on over here, and you're going to stand right next to me, please. Okay. Now what we're going to do, okay, is that we're going to take our left hand and our club, we're going to put it out here, right? Just one-handed. We're going to take our right hand, okay? We're going to put that right here on where our belt buckle will be. I want to push back till I feel just a little tension in my hamstrings. I want to crack my knees, okay? Equal steps. Okay, good. Now let's bring that right hand back on in. Very good. Now let's just take the club and let it Gently drop down to the ground. Very good. You can ease up on this just a little. There you go. Very good. Okay? So now you'll start to notice, okay, that the butt of the club is pointing just left of your navel. Okay? Yep, you're good right there.
Oh, you want it over there?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, good. So now you've got your hands just slightly ahead of the ball, okay, to help promote a downward strike like what we're trying to go for right there. Okay? You can see that your arms are maybe just a little bit more relaxed. That's good. Okay, that's good. You don't want to get like this. Okay, you can feel that tension in your shoulders, right? So that's good right there. I'm going to move this guy just a little bit over, just a smidge. There you go. Good. All right, good. Okay. So that's going to be basically our posture. Okay, where we're going to kind of be.
Okay.
Okay. So do you feel where we're at with our body a little bit there?
Yep, so we're right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. We'll go over it again here.
Equal steps.
Yeah. Okay.
Little
Yeah,
relax.
there you go. There you go. Relax just a little bit, right? Good.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So let's do that one more time together, okay? So we're going to take our left hand, get it in a good position, right? Feet together. There we go. No. All right, we're going to take our right hand, put it right here on our belt buckle. We're going to push back till we feel a little tension in our hamstrings. Crack our knees just a little bit. Equal steps. Very good. Let's bring that right hand back on in. Okay. Now all we want to do is just let the club come down naturally. Okay, good. So now you'll start to see, now you're starting to get an angle here with your hands and wrist. Right? Where we saw you in the beginning, you were like this.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. So now your hands are underneath your chin, basically. Okay, that's a good reference point, right? The driver, we're probably going to have a little bit of a reach because it is the longest club, but that's where we want to kind of be right there.
Okay.
So checkpoints that we want to kind of remember, right, is the butt of the club is going to point maybe about an inch left of your navel. Okay, so I imagine that there's like a laser beam that's going right on in there, right?
Okay.
And that's where we point. We don't want to get it down here where it's down by our crotch, and we don't want to get it up here where it's kind of pointing towards our gut. Okay, so just left of our navel. Okay, that's going to give us a good position. Okay, a lot going on there, a lot of changes, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now go ahead and set up. You're good. One more time. Go through your setup for me. Okay. Talk me through it. Talk me what you're doing.
Doing feet together, left hand grip,
Mm-hmm.
bending a little bit.
Correct.
Then we'll step first, equal length, bend it, get a good grip, and then straight down.
Okay. Good. Now remember that right hand I like to kind of put on my belt buckle and push myself back so I feel those hips kind of go back a little
Oh,
bit.
this.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so let's do it one more time together. Okay, so here we go. All right, so left hand out in front.
Mhm.
Take my right hand, I'm going to put it right there on my belt buckle. I'm going to push my hips back just a little bit, feel a little tension.
Mhm.
Crack my knees, equal steps. Let's bring that right hand on in. And now we're going to let the club come down naturally. Good. Okay, kind of get you just a little bit. There you go, good. Okay, good. All right. How does that feel for us?
Different?
Different? Okay, good. Right, I'm going to make one little change here. I just want to check and see. Doing good. I'm just going to kind of move just a little bit here. There you go, good. Okay, so we kind of soften up this right arm just a smidge, not much, and then you've got a nice hanging left arm right here.
Okay.
Okay, so when I look down the line here, I can see that your left forearm is overtaking your right forearm. Okay, and that's going to help promote that in to out swing that we're all kind of looking for.
Okay.
Does that make sense? All right, good. All right. Any questions about that? That's a lot of new stuff for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions? What do you got for me? Talk to me.
I just have to do it. Practice it, I guess.
Right, you know.
Everything's just different.
Yeah, it's a whole new feel from what we're used to, right?
Yeah.
What we think is supposed to be correct and comfortable, right? Now we're getting into the world of where it needs to kind of be, and it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable and awkward, but once we start to get used to that, repeat it,
Yeah.
it's going to become more natural, especially the grip. I can guarantee you probably by the end of the week or so, if we're doing it correct and we got like maybe a little grip minder, you're going to notice when you're out there on the course that you're doing it right and when you're doing it wrong. And that's a big discovery, right? Because if I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I can't fix it,
Mhm.
right? And now you'll start to get some kind of feel that goes with that. Does that make sense, big guy? All right, now let me kind of go here with this, okay? So if you stand right over there across from me, please. Okay. So this is a general idea of where the ball position is. Okay, you can see that there's some colors and stuff. I wouldn't say it's the be all end all, but it definitely gives us a general idea of where to be, right?
Okay.
We're all going to have a little bit different because we're different sizes, we're different shapes, we have different equilibriums in our ears. So we're going to have different balance points, right? But it gives us a pretty good reference point of where we're going to kind of be. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of come on in here and I'm really going to use this whole club. Right, so, and we're just kind of focusing on the irons a little bit today, as I said. Right, so if I kind of put a ball right here in line with this red dot right there, and then I put my left foot here, and for what club we have now, will we have a 9 or an 8?
This is, I think it's 8.
8.
Yeah, 8.
Right, so we'd probably get our toe right about here, okay? And this would be about where the ball would be positioned, okay? Now if I went with the driver, so because I'm going to go to an extreme so you get to see the difference here. If I went to the driver, you can see that ball would be more up and up in my setup. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So with what club we have, right, so the lower that we go down with club length, the more it's going to kind of go back in our setup. Okay? The longer the club length, right, the more up that it's going to go. Okay. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so if I brought you on in here, okay, let's kind of put our left foot right there. Okay, good. Put our right toe right there. Good. Okay, and that would be the ball position. So just go ahead and set up like we kind of did, right? Feel your grip. Yep. There you go. Good. Very good. All right. There you go. Right, bending from the waist, making sure that we have that. Good. Okay, good. So I'm going to kind of put this guy right here. Okay. We're not worried about hitting it right now, but give me an idea visually. Does that look different to you from where you're starting it from?
Yeah, besides my posture being different, I was always putting it at like my front heel.
Yeah. So now we've moved our low point back, which is going to help you promote you to hit down on it, right? And we'll catch that ball in the right position. Where you were kind of playing it up here, right? Your low point would be here, and then you're hitting into the ball. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
And you can tell I hit the ground a lot.
Yeah, so the big thing for you, and this is why I wanted to get to this point, right, is that if I can get you to kind of recognize where the ball position is, it really starts helping out our ball striking quite a bit, right? That's a big thing. So the big 3 things that we want to kind of focus on today, like as I said, grip, posture, and setup, right? And where our ball position is. Recognizing where that needs to be and how that kind of moves back and forth a little bit in our setup compared to irons and woods, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
So far.
So go ahead and set up again for me. Good. All right, good grip. Good. There we go. All right, good. So for this shot right here, I don't want it killed. I just want a smooth little swing, so we kind of put some of these parts together. Okay? Good. Okay? Good. So here's the big thing right here that I see. And I didn't really get, I don't think I got a low point on the other ones, and I'll check. But now you can see that your low point is about 5 inches ahead of the ball. Okay, so that means that you're hitting the ball and your low point for your club is up over here. Okay, which is good. That's what you want with an iron. Okay, if we were talking about a driver, we'll be in a different world. Okay, all right, let's keep going. You're doing great. Okay, working on our grip. All right, our posture and our setup. Great job. Not really worried about where the ball goes right now. Just trying to get those fundamentals put in. Okay.
Way back. Okay. I lifted my head too.
That's okay. There we go. Go through your setup. We're in the world of feels and technique right now. We're not worried about performance. Okay. Good. Give yourself a little space. You feel a little crowded there?
I felt really close.
Okay, good, good. Let's get that left hand a little bit more on top for me. So I want to kind of feel like it's over here. Yep, there we go. Thumb on the side of the shaft. There we go, good. This guy just off just a little bit. There you go. Okay. All right, and give yourself a little space where you feel comfy, okay? There we go, good, good. I feel like open it up. We're gonna work on that too, okay? One thing I'd like to kind of see here just a little bit, right, is I see that right foot kind of stagnant, okay? Allow that thing to come through. I know we're putting a lot together, right? But what you can kind of see here, I'm not sure if I was in the video or not, right? Watch our right foot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, see what JT's doing here? Let's just kind of do this.
My hips didn't move, foot didn't move.
Yeah, the foot didn't move, right? So it's really tough to get, let's see, all they got is going. We'll go with John Rom. He's really good. All right, so as we watch John Rom here, see how he's pushing in with that right foot just a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes through here. He's not all the way turned at this point, right? But you can see that he's pushing off onto that as he comes through. And then as he releases, letting that right knee go down our target line, okay? That's going to hurt our back with the motion that we're having right there, okay? We want to release that energy that we have, okay? We want to feel like,
All shoulders.
yeah, do you bowl at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I put you on the bowling lane, right, you'd have that foot dragging through, right? Letting that momentum carry on through. You wouldn't kind of have your foot stuck and go like that, right? Okay. Kind of the same concept. Wouldn't say it's exactly the same, right? But we want to have that weight transfer going through to the front side to help us out just a little bit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Good. So let's not worry about the ball right here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of have you set on up. Good. Grip stance posture. Very good. Right. Feel like we're bending from the waist, right? Okay. So you can see, let's take a look at a reference point with our feet. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. Okay, now just give me a nice swing and just feel that weight transferring to the front as we go through. Let that right knee release as we come through, okay? Better. Okay, better. A little bit slower, okay? Let's try to put these pieces together. Left hand a little bit more on top for me. Yeah, there you go. Very good. Much better. Good job right there. Did you hear that little swoosh down at the bottom? Good. Very good. Very good. Okay, see how you're getting consistently down at the bottom now? Okay, good. Yeah. Here we go. Is that feeling better?
It does.
Getting a good understanding?
I think so.
All right. All right. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to put this guy right here. Okay. Let's try to get our toes in the area. We don't have to be exactly on it, right? Get yourself in a good, comfortable position. Okay. Good. All right, weight transfer going down the target line. Here we go. Good. Good.
Straighter.
Yeah. Once again, okay. Toes in those kind of positions, right? Go through our setup, right? Feel like our left hand's on top. Very good. Let's make sure that weight's going down our target line. There we go, Okay, got away with it. What'd that right foot do?
Lifted.
Or your left foot did. Right? Let's take a look at our right foot. Much better though. Okay? Much, much better. Great setup compared to where we were. Much better.
No, it didn't move.
Right?
My hips are just still, the foot didn't come.
That's okay. I mean, remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
Right.
Okay.
Trying to break all these bad habits I try to compensate with.
Well, there's a lot going on here. I wouldn't say that, you know, we're working on grip, posture and stance, ball position, right? And trying to get our foot to move, right? So, I mean, there's a lot. Okay, there we go. Okay, just give me a small swing. Just feel like that right side comes through for us. Don't need to kill it. Just give me a swing. It's okay. One more time for me, my man. Okay, go through your setup. Okay. Got away with it, but we still didn't move that right foot, did we?
No.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, let me kind of jump in there real quick so you get kind of a visual, okay? All right, so as I kind of go just like this, we'll put this guy right here. Boop. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of get on in there. And this is really all we need to kind of do right now. We just need to kind of get that thing hinged up just a little bit. And I just want to kind of feel like I'm moving that right foot through just a little bit. Okay, so it may feel like a little bit of a punch shot a little bit for us a little bit. Okay, but kind of more like in this way. Okay, you're going to notice everything kind of comes together a little bit. Okay, one more time here. Let you kind of see. Okay, so you can kind of see that I'm keeping that right knee going down my target line here, right? Allowing my chest and hips to open up and rotate. Okay, what we're kind of doing here just a little bit right now is that you're doing a good job of getting in position here, but we're kind of going like this, right? Keeping that right foot down a little bit. Does that make sense, big guy?
Yeah. It looks so much ridiculous. More ridiculous when you do it. Showing me.
So, but just to kind of give you a good visual of what's going on, okay? So I'm going to kind of do this. We're in a good position here, okay? I just want you to kind of make that swing. Replicate what I kind of did there in your mind's eye, okay? Let's go through it. Good, good. We're getting that right foot to move. Not so, you don't have to swing so fast, right? Full swing, half speed. Let's kind of go with that idea, okay? That's good. All right, slow it down just a little bit, all right? Give me 30%, okay? There you go, much better, okay? 30%. There you go. Yeah. You're going to generate speed, okay?
Yeah, it's like, and then every time like they're like, oh, I'm gonna use an 8, I'm like, well then I'm using a 5, because every time I try to smash it, I don't get any of the distance and no control.
Okay.
I stop comparing myself to these guys.
Correct.
For 20 years.
We're playing our game, right?
Yeah.
Good. There you go, good. Feel the weight transfer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, good.
I like the interlocking. With this hand so much more.
You like the interlocking or
I did, but now with this hand so much more.
Okay.
I don't know if
So we got the overlapping going on then?
yeah.
Okay. Just as long as we don't have the 10 finger.
Oh, you don't want like this? You want at
Yes.
least on top?
Yes. We want one either on top or one interlock. That
This
was
is fine, just the interlock was
okay.
not
That's
really
fine.
with it more.
It's not always for everybody, and that's why I kind of say you can do either or. Much better. Okay, moving our weight through. Good job. Okay. Left hand on top, just a little bit for me. There you go. Good. Hands down just a little bit. There you go. Good. Good. Very good. we're going to hit 3 swings here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in an impact position with this so you get a feel for what we're trying to do at impact down the ball a little bit. Okay. Any questions right now, big guy?
No.
All right, let's go through our setup, right? Good, like that. Give yourself a little space. There you go. 30%. A little bit of hit. Okay. Better. Okay, but we kind of kept that foot down on the ground just a little bit, right?
A little bit of hip, but not or foot.
That's all right. Okay. A lot going on there.
So worry about that grip.
That's a big change. Okay, 30%. Let that right foot come through for us, okay? Good.
Almost killed you.
Almost got me. All right,
I don't know
so
about that one.
let me kind of put this into an impact position for us. So go ahead and set up for me, big guy. Good. All right, so I'm going to kind of move you around here just a little bit. Okay. All right, so we can get into impact. It's going to be hands forward. Okay, good. All right, move your hips. Okay. Feel your foot going into that. No, you're good. All right, feel your foot going into that. Feel your shoulders turning. Okay, good. That's what impact's going to feel like for us, just like that, okay? Okay, feel how everything's moving there? Just like what we saw with John Rahm, right? Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to get you back into your setup position, okay? And I'm going to move this up just a little bit for you, okay? Now what we're going to do, and here let me demonstrate real quick for you, okay? What I'm going to have you do here, right, is we're going to kind of set up to right here. We're going to take kind of half swing. We don't need to kill the back, right? And then I want you to kind of move through and feel that when we have resistance here, we've got to get our body involved a little bit, right? We just can't let our arms take over.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So it's kind of like what I like to compare it to. If I said, hey, I want you to use an axe to chop wood, right? You wouldn't leave your foot back behind here like this, would you? Right? If I just gave you a big heavy thing and said, hey, we got to whack away, I guarantee you're going to get your right side involved in moving into that to make the best strike that you can. Right? I think right now we're just trying to control the club face a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of letting that natural athlete in us start coming out. Okay? Okay. Good. Good. Okay. So we're just going to take a swing to about halfway, okay, where the left arm's parallel to the ground. So here we go. Come on up. Yep, right about there.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're just going to hit the back. Yeah, you notice what your body's doing naturally?
Kind of going.
Yeah, we're gonna hit it with a little force. All right, there we go. Once again. Okay, left arm parallel to the ground. Good. Notice what your hands are doing, what your body's doing a little bit there. Okay. Now I want you to do this even slower than that. I don't want you to kill it. I want you to feel like you're doing it at like 10% speed. There you go. Okay, feel what your body's doing. Okay, once again. Okay. All right, good. So your right side's starting to try to come through a little bit, right? You feel that pushing off just a little bit? Okay. Good. One more time for me, partner. Okay. Now what I'm going to have you do here, just as a little drill here, go ahead and set up for me. Okay. So you're going to take the club on back for me. On the back. All right. We're going to get to about where the left arm's parallel, club's up in the air. right? And I want you to kind of turn, and I want you to feel like you're getting the toe into the club a little bit, into the bag, okay? Okay, give me just a small little swing, right? Feel it?
Yeah.
Yep, good. So here, hold on. Yep, good. One more time. A little bit straighter. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, keeping our radius, and then just driving that back down, and then toe into the bag just a little bit. You'll feel your forearms rotating. Okay. Good. Good. What's that?
Hit it kind of hard.
That's okay. Slow it down just a little bit for yourself so you get more of the idea of the movement pattern and not the... Good. What's your right foot doing naturally there? Right, good. Right, we didn't even have to think, right? Do it again, right? Feel that toe going into the bag a little bit for me, okay? Good. Okay. Pull this guy on out. Okay. Put the ball down. Okay. And I want us to try to bring those feels that we had with hitting the impact bag to the swing here. I don't want to get a full swing. We just need to get to the left arm parallel to the ground here. Shaft up in the air. Swinging down and through.
10%. 10%.
10%, right? It's going to feel like 10% to you. Okay? We just want to get those feels. Good. Once again.
I don't think I got the toe in enough.
That's okay. The big
So
thing
am
is,
I rotating as I do it?
yeah, so if you set up for me, okay, I'll kind of give you a feel here a little bit. So as we come on back here, good, right, and as we come through here, boom, boom. Okay, so we need to
bring
solve
the toe. through
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I was trying to do it before.
Yeah, it's going to feel afterwards, yeah. So, but big thing is, got to soften up these forearms a little bit for me, okay, big guy? Okay, good. Good. How's the grip feel, right? Feeling that left hand on top, right? Getting ourselves in a good position. Very good. Back up just a little bit for yourself. Good. Okay. Good. Grip's in a good position. Good. There you go. That was the first time I got you to see you swing the club, not hit the ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it felt, I could tell just by hitting it, it felt a lot better.
Right? Swing the club, not hit the ball. That's what we're trying to do, okay? Good job. Good work right there, buddy. Good work. All right? Okay. I know she's a little left, but I'll be honest with you, we've got a lot of good things going on here. Okay? The path is a little bit over the top, and we'll kind of work on that more next time when we get there, right? But the big thing is we're starting to see the grip starting to get a good position, the posture starting to get in a good position. We're starting to swing the club past us a little bit. We're letting that right side kind of come through a little bit, and now we're starting to get locked on the shot, which is important, right?
For sure.
Right? Where we started off before, we were just getting on the ground quite a bit, right?
Putting holes in that guy's house.
Correct, right? Killing grub worms, right? So now we're starting to get a little loft, and it's starting to go a little left, which is good. Okay. Alright, now if I kind of did this to you just a little bit, get our focus, alright? I want you to try to get that ball and that tee out of the ground for me. Okay? What do you think that does to our angle of attack? Pushes. You got to have a little steeper angle of attack, right? There you go, right? Just like what we talked about with the impact back. Does that make sense? Okay. Slow down. That's okay. Good, big guy. Doing good.
Yeah, I was pretty naive thinking that this was an easy sport. It's way more complicated than I expected.
Good swing. You got that tee out of the ground. Good job. Yeah, I would say the hardest thing to do in sport is to hit a round ball with a round bat at 90 miles an hour. That's the toughest thing I think there is. But the toughest sport overall is golf. Okay? Because the ball doesn't move, and the only person you can blame is yourself, right? So it's just more about how do we control our body and our muscle memory, right? And that's the big thing about practice and all that, right? And we can only blame or congratulate ourselves, right? And that's with the process of work and everything like that, right? So, and it takes discipline to, the big part of golf is taking discipline not to do what other people are doing, right? You're playing with other guys or bombing at 270 yards, and you're like, I got to go catch that. But that's maybe not your game, right? So hitting it 225 down the middle, taking an extra 1 or 2 clubs, hitting it on the green or near it.
That.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the other part, that when we're out there playing with our buddies and stuff like this, we don't want to get lost in what they're kind of doing a little bit. Try to stay in your own zone a little bit, right? Play your game. Because remember, at the end of the day, as much as we try to, we're playing against the golf course, not against the person that's in the cart with us, right? And if we beat the golf course, we did the best that we could. And then we look up and look around and say, how did we do against everybody else? Well, I beat you, I beat you. That's the big thing. But we're always trying to play the course, right?
I'm trying to have fun right now. And
yeah.
I think the worst thing was starting to watch those damn YouTube videos.
You can get so lost in because some of it doesn't apply to you, right?
And they all kind of have their own little thing for it. I'm like, I need the basics. I need to fix this grip, swing.
Good. Okay. Good. Good. This tee right here, we're going to try to get that ball and tee out of the ground, okay? It's okay. Good swing. Good swing, buddy. I know it's off to the right, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, you're starting to swing the club past you. Okay? Good.
It'll only take 6,000 more, please.
That's it. Just so let's take a look at this guy. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look here. I want to give you some drills of what to work on, and then we're going to kind of shut it down for the day, okay? Not get too much lost in the sauce. All right, so let's take a look at a few things here. Okay. Any questions or anything like?
Not yet. What we focus on today is definitely what I need to start with.
Okay. Great, great. So we're at the key elements of what we need to kind of do here. So we're still kind of getting a little bit of a lateral slide. I'm going to give us a drill for that, so we get a feel for that a little bit. Okay.
I wasn't even really thinking about that part. Just doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a drill where it's going to be pretty much mind-numbing, right? You'll just kind of do it, and eventually the movement pattern will start coming through for you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I just got a net at home, and Element, whatever, the Rapsodo thing,
Okay.
so I could watch myself, because I didn't realize how horrible my swing was until someone recorded me, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to lessons.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, the first thing I always find when I videotape myself is I'm always looking at like, oh my God, I didn't know I looked like that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't know my swing was that bad, right?
Especially next to this guy.
Right, when you start to look at these things, right, you start to understand, right?
Yeah.
So a few things that we kind of see here is we've got a little bit of a lateral slide going into a little bit. So we're moving off the ball a little bit, which is changing our load point, okay? The other thing that we're doing quite a bit here that we need to kind of work on is trying to get that left arm a little bit straighter, okay, on our takeaway. And that might just be that we kind of take the club up to like right about here to kind of get that feel, keeping that left arm straight, and then swinging through for right now for practice purposes. Does that make sense? Okay, because if I take a look at John, right, he gets here. I'd like to see a little bit more wrist hinge, but he is John wrong. Okay, but I'd like for you to get where your left arm is kind of parallel to the ground right here, and then basically have the shaft in this position right there.
With the wrist.
Yeah, have a little bit more wrist hinge, okay, than what John does, okay? But try to keep your left arm, you know, when it gets to parallel to the ground, okay? What we want to try to work on, okay? And then as we kind of come through here, making sure that we keep that left arm straight as we come through. Better job of not flipping so much at the ball, but you can see that left elbow starts to tuck out and away here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to kind of have the feeling of allowing that club to rotate through. Okay, so let's talk about this. We're going to try to hit it from a couple different angles here. Okay, so we're going to talk about grip, stance, and posture. What I want you to kind of do for some drills here. Okay, and what we're going to try to get rid of or get a feeling of is how our right hip's going to turn, right? Getting the toe more into the bag so it gets our right foot moving through, and then trying to get rid of this chicken wing as we come through. Okay? Yeah. So let's kind of go with this. Number one, right? Let's go over our grip, stance, and posture with that. Okay? And then I want to give you a drill for your tilt and turns for what you need to kind of do. Okay? Then we're going to get to the impact bag real quick, and then I want to give you some left arm drills so you feel what the club's supposed to do with your left arm. Instead of doing this, it's supposed to be doing this.
Okay.
Okay? So let's kind of come on over here real quick. Stand right here next to me, please. Okay? And let's do this together, right? So we're going to put our left hand out front for us. Okay, feet together. We're going to take our right hand. We're going to put it right there on our belt buckle. We're going to push back just a little bit. Okay? Once we feel a little tension in our hamstrings, we're going to crack our knees. Okay? We're going to take equal steps. Now let's bring that right hand back on in. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the club and we're going to put it right down gently. Okay? That's our posture. Okay? Now as far as our grip goes, okay, I would recommend getting like a little grip minder or a weighted club or something like this to kind of work on it at home. You can get some that I think snap onto the club now and stuff like that. But just get that so it's, you know, in line with the face here, not the top of the ridge line there. Okay, so
right here.
Yep. So that you'll usually see like a little white mark here at the bottom, the last one. That's your alignment line. Okay, so we want to get that square. Okay, so once again, once I have my grip and I've got a good posture, okay, remembering that I'm going to have this arm kind of hanging straight off my chest. This one's going to be bent just a little bit. Okay, There you go, okay? And remember, we don't want to have a lot of tension in our shoulder. There you go, relax. There you go, good job. Yeah, right? Trying to kill that thing, right? And just allow that to be able to move freely, okay? Now what we want to kind of do with our grip check is just kind of, can we move it around pretty freely, right? I don't feel any resistance. I can kind of move that swing, right? So remember, the golf swing isn't just a motion like this, it's also like this as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so as I go, I've got to have a hinge, okay? Now, getting any questions about the grip posture, right? We talked about ball position, okay? I would get something like this or some alignment rods, so you kind of figure out where it is. This is a very simple one. They've got plenty of these things on Amazon, fairly cheap or something like this.
Yeah.
As I said, this is a guideline for where we want to kind of be. It's not the Bible, okay? It's going to kind of move around for each person a little bit, but it does give us some good guardrails to kind of go along, right? And give us some good visuals as well, right? Okay. Now, moving right along for you, my man. All right. So I'm going to get this bag here. I'm going to get this right here as so. Up just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to get this guy. All right. So, what I'm going to have you do, you stand right over there for me, my man. Okay. I'm going to get this right here. All right. So I'm going to get this object probably, 3-4 feet out in front of me or so, 5 feet out in front of me, something like that. Okay. For right now, we're going to put this alignment rod right here in the inside part of my right foot. Okay. We're going to take another alignment rod or a stick or a club, whatever it may be. We're going to put the long end out over here. Okay. See where that would be the target end right there. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I have this right along my shoulder plane, by my throat, not down here. Okay. So it's really going against the nodules of my shoulders. Okay. What I'm going to do is you're going to get into posture and position right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the tip end of this and you're going to turn it to a top of an object. And that object's probably going to be every bit of 3 feet, 3.5 feet, something like that. Okay, something where the left shoulder's kind of turning down, but not down like this and not straight across. Okay, so there's kind of an angle that we have to have with our shoulder, just a little bit. Okay, so as I get here, boom. Okay, do you see what my right hip is doing now? Turning back behind me. Okay, the feeling is, okay, if I kind of get over here, and I'm going to do it this way. If this is my wallet pocket, going towards my target. Okay, so that's kind of the feeling that we have. Okay, so let me kind of get back on over here just a little bit, and I'll have you do it here. All right, and then just kind of, you see how my shoulders turn down, and it's kind of matching the shaft here on the ground. That's why we have it here. I don't want us to be doing this. Okay, that's going to defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to feel like, for me, I'm turning inside of a barrel. If I had a barrel around my hips, I want to feel like I'm turning inside of that.
Okay.
Does that give you a good visual?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let's kind of come on over here and make sure that we're doing that correct. Good, right here along our shoulder line, perfect. Kind of, there we go. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get in our posture for me. Good, and then just turn that down. Nope, a little bit too far down. That's fine. So here we go. I'm probably gonna move it up just a little bit for you. Okay, so let's kind of do this. I'm gonna kind of do this real quick. Okay. All right, I want you to turn to the top of that. Better. Okay. Once again for me. Good. You're going to keep your head kind of in the hub a little bit. There you go. Good. Very good. Okay. Try to do it a little bit slow. Okay. We don't want to try to. There you go.
I'm still lean.
A little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Now I know to look for that.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Good. There you go. That's what we're trying to go for right there. Much better. Right. See how you kind of, yep, we want to do it slow to begin with, okay? Yeah, okay. Hold it. Now, where do you feel your weight in your feet?
Mostly back here, on my toe, my left toe.
Right? You wouldn't want to sit in that position to sing a song, would you?
Nope.
Okay, so that's the coiling that we're feeling now, right? Now we've got the upper body turning against the lower body. Okay, that's what you kind of see when you look at these guys. What we can kind of see with you is that everything's kind of turned away. The hips, shoulders, everything is kind of moved as one. So you're not getting that feel that we just worked on right there.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense? Okay. Good. Good. Yep, there you go. Good. All right. Good. Let's do it slow. Okay. Once again. There you go. Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. One more time and hold it for me. All right. You feel the resistance? Feel that tightness throughout your abdomen area?
Okay. My back.
Yeah, yeah. So these are some new positions that we haven't done at all, right? Okay. Now, let's kind of talk about the last thing that we were kind of chatting about. Let me grab a plug here real quick. Okay. All right. Now, the big thing that we kind of see here a little bit, right, is that as we're coming through impact, this left elbow is getting like this a little bit, right? Okay. This is a very simple drill to kind of do. We're just going to take it with one hand here, and we're just going to swing the club. See how my elbow goes this way? Let the club kind of fall over to this side a little bit so we get a feel for it, right? So it's just this. All right? Right side coming through a little bit. And this is just an easy drill to kind of do, right? I bet you'll notice when you're watching your buddies out there on the golf course that they're kind of swinging the club, getting ready, right? We want to do the same, right? It's a natural motion for us, right? This isn't natural where we're trying to go like this, or we're trying to keep this elbow out in the way, right? So let that club kind of swing past us a little bit. So as you kind of see, all right, see how that elbow comes down? Very simple drill to do. All right. So if I just kind of said, hey, maybe I get like a little ball. We're not trying to kill it, not trying to do anything, right? But if I just kind of did this, right? All right, we just want to kind of capture the ball and let the club kind of come past. Right now, that might be a little bit more advanced than what we're trying to do. Okay, but once we kind of get to that, we just take that one-handed just a little bit. See how it kind of restricts me from going too far, right? And then I'm just kind of letting the club swing past me. Okay, so come on over here, big guy. Okay, all right, left hand on top. All right, feel that left hand dominating. Good. Now just kind of swing. Just let it swing with one arm.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, right? So we just got to kind of work on that a little bit. All right, try to keep that left arm straight, right? You see how much it's bending, right? So here we go. Set up for me. More like this. Yeah.
That's one thing. I don't think I've been doing my wrist like that till.
Okay, good. So we want to have a little, you know, some people have it like this, some people have it like that, but making sure that we get our wrist in this good position right here. You feel that right there? And then keeping this left arm straightish. We don't want to get it bent too much. We don't want it dead locked either. Okay, but right there is good. Now just swing that down and through for me. All right, so here we go. There you go. All right, so let me help you out here just a little bit. Right there. Good. Now I'm going to kind of move you through here. All right. Yeah. Allow that right foot to come through for you. Yeah. That's going to help us as we turn through, okay? Let's try that one more time. Yeah. Okay, so as we kind of come through. Good. Okay. Give me a little bit straighter arm than that. There you go. Just a little bit. Now just feel like that's driving down and through. Let that elbow turn. Yeah. Okay. That's going to take a little time for us, right? Okay. All right.
I'll definitely practice that one.
Okay, so here we go. Once again, let me kind of demonstrate here just for a sec, right? So making sure that we get that hand, that left hand in a good position, right? So that might be where we get that grip minder or something like that we can snap on there to kind of help us a little bit. But really what we want to kind of feel like is, right? A little bend, right? Got a little bit of shaft lean there. And then I just want to feel like I'm kind of keeping this angle here, retaining my lag, right? And then just down and through, okay? Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Right. Let your body turn with it a little bit, right? Don't make it just about your arm.
That's hard.
There you go. Okay. There you go. Okay. Now just swing it down and through for me. Okay. It's going to take some time, right?
For sure.
Right? There you go. Better.
I could practice that.
Okay. That's going to take a little time and a little work.
A lot
Okay.
of those.
All right. Any questions about what we worked on today, big guy?
No, I got a good basis of what I need to practice until I see you next.
Right. Right.
And then how often do you recommend? Because I have a lot to work on. So.
I would
to
suggest
find-
about this point right now, probably every 2, maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
Work on the things that we kind of do. Send me a couple videos of what you're kind of working on. You got a hitting mat you set at the house and a hitting net and stuff like that?
I have a net. I don't have a hitting mat.
Okay.
I have that Rapsodo I just bought. I haven't even used it yet.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use it at the range.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll break it on out either at the range or something like that. Don't be afraid to get the old camera. We all got those on our phones now. Videotape face on, right, about waist high or so, hand high or so, and do the same down the line as well.
Okay.
Take a look at it. Send those to me, right? I can kind of give you an idea of where we're kind of going right and where we're going wrong.
Okay.
But really at this point, we really just want to kind of focus on grip, stance, and posture, ball position, right? And then just trying to figure out if we got like a little hitting mat or a little bag or something we can stuff some old jeans in,
Yeah.
right? And what I would kind of work on just a little bit for us, right, with that is I would just kind of, as I said, just kind of get that feeling of left arm parallel to the ground, okay? And then just feel my forearms rotating through impact, right? See how my wrists are, my right forearm's overtaking my left?
Yeah.
Okay, once again, here. Okay, I'm getting that toe to the bag, and that's going to help me promote me to get that right foot off the heel or off the ground, right? So if you kind of see here, right? It'd be like any other motion. If I said, hey, I want you to go throw a ball, you'd have your forearm rotating through, right?
That makes sense.
And your right side would come through as well,
Okay.
right? There's nobody that's going to throw a football like that. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. So, does that make sense, big guy?
It does. I just gotta practice.
Okay. Any questions? I videotaped today's session, so I'll send that off to you.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm sure there's a lot going on in the old
Oh, for
head
sure.
space right now, like this.
Yeah.
But go back, review over this, right? Kind of take it in bite-sized chunks a little bit. Work on the grip, work on the stance, work on the posture, right? Work on ball rotation, right? And then just kind of start getting a feel for that left arm kind of coming through a little bit, right?
Okay.
Okay, but work on those things, right? Send me some videos, send me some comments of what you're kind of working on, what you're feeling, what you're noticing, what you're not noticing, right? With what you're kind of doing. And that way I can kind of help you.
Okay.
But, as far as lessons go, it's at a rate that's best learning for you. So if you're getting these concepts very quickly, then maybe once a week. But if you're struggling with some of these things and need to kind of keep with the practice part instead of the performance part, then I'd say probably every 2 weeks or so.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely practice right now.
Yeah, so I'd say that's where we want to kind of live at. Really the big thing for us is if we can get the grip correct, right? That might take a week in itself right there, just getting familiarized with that. Because I can tell that we're debating on interlock or overlap, right? So really trying to get that out of our heads so when I get onto the tee or wherever I'm at, that's just something that comes naturally. I'm not even thinking about that. That's just a feel that I have and I go with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I was doing an interlock before, but I was more like that instead of like having it brought
Yeah.
over more. I was like,
And there's nothing wrong with it. As long as we stay away from the 10-finger one. I don't like the 10-finger one because then we've got 2 units working separately as hands. I like to have either the overlap or interlock so we start to conjoin those 2 hands to work as one motion.
it makes sense.
Does that make sense, big guy?
It does. It does.
All right, big guy.
All right.
Hey, happy 4th of July, man.
Yeah, you too.
So you got any big plans or anything?
One of my fiance's friends having a little party.